Hey guys, this is Lil with another raid video. Apologies for the delay. I didn't put a video out last week because I've just been playing so much WoW Remix, to be honest. So yeah, I didn't get around to. I played some raid. I did some, graded some champs and things, but I was mainly playing WoW Remix in my spare time outside of, the usual raid activities. I decided not to go for the Wixwell Soul, so I've been taking it slightly easy on raid. But actually, Wixwell is going to feature in today's video. So, apologies, I've got coffee. So I was playing around the last couple of days, just having some fun. I've not used Wixwell in any teams. I'm not really that interested in doing the sort of exploding stuff with Yannicka. We'll see if that gets nerfed or not. I don't like. It's not my cup of tea. So today we're doing just normal teams, full auto, using a champ that somebody recommended when I did the video on the best Hydra champs, and I've never got around to using him, and honestly I've never found a use for him. So today we're going to run him in a few different teams, in a few different builds, and we're going to have some fun. One of the last teams that we end up with is 100% free champs, either fusions or I think the only one that requires you to pull is Ugo. You could use Wukong, but then you'd need to bring somebody else in for the decreased defense. So before we get into it, firstly, let me cut over and just say that I do now have members on the channel. So if you sign up as a member, depending on how long, it's a great way to support me. And to be honest, I'm constantly looking for feedback on things, and also your input on things. I'm still writing the selling leveled gear rules for RSL Helper, which I've still never seen. I don't know if pandas are out or not. When I spoke to him a few weeks ago, he was still building them. I've not seen them, so I presume he's still building them. I'm still building mine. It's going well, but I'd really like to bounce those ideas off you guys as well. So it'd be great if you could join the channel. It really helps. It helps support me. So these are the sort of length of service badges that you get, but then my favourite is the custom Lil emotes, which we're using in our clan Discord server as well. But I love these, so you get to use these in the chat as well. I'm using them in Discord because I love them. They're great. Just something that I got somebody to put together. So do join. If not, like and subscribe. It all helps out. It's the more you the more it gets promoted by YouTube, and then the more views, and that all helps out the channel. Anyway, guys, let's go and talk about who we're talking about today. Let's hope we got a game. There, we do have a game. We are today mostly talking about Crohnam, who somebody recommended on my sort of best Hydra champs video. And I have never used him anywhere, just anywhere. So I was I'm going to throw him into hard and see how he does. Put him in with his partner and see how he does. Because, he's got, with her, he gets a lot of, so just in terms of his kit, he's an AoE HP burn champ. He gets some turn meter, places HP burn, and then he instantly activates HP burn. The thing is that when he's with his partner, her A2 instantly activates this. So, you can have him, and I guess on his A1, he also extends the duration of burns. Yeah. So, and then on his passive, if his partner's on the same team, every 5 times somebody uses a skill, not an A1 skill, he will instantly activate that A2 as well. So the A2 is the big move, and we run him in a few different teams here, and you'll see how it does. The challenge with him, I would say, is getting him to keep HP burn up. So first I threw him into a team that I thought would just be fun, and I threw him in just in his regen build. And these are his masteries, just pretty normal Hydra type stuff. And so I threw him into a team. What did the original team look like? Hold on. It didn't have Ninja in. The first team that I ran a Mishinaki in. So this was the first... who did we have here? We didn't have Ugo. Hold on, let me check. The very first team, which is actually not the highest damage team. Oh, here, this one's the highest damage team. So I got my Wixwell into 9-piece protection. So I was like, right, let's take this guy for a spin and let's pair him with some of my best like damage buffing champs. That I don't use. Yeah, like I don't use Wixwell. I just built him recently. I don't use Gerptuk. Like I don't have a... sorry, I'm on the wrong side, aren't I? Let me flip myself over just so it's easier. There we go. So I don't use my Gerptuk. He's in like just a super old build. So Wixwell, you know, got him in 9-piece Guardian. So I thought, again, I'm in the way. Sorry. I just checked and I'm like, wherever I put myself, I'm in the way. Maybe I'll just make myself a bit smaller. There we go. So Wixwell, yeah, I didn't bother going for the soul. I just thought, do you know what? I've got other things I'm doing at the moment. If it had not been champion training over the weekend, I probably would. But it was over a busy weekend here, and I always try and not play games at the weekend. So I put the Gerptuk in. He's not he's in a fine build, but it's not amazing. And then I was like, right, okay, so the core of the team is, you know, the Wixwell, because, and again, sorry, I'll just keep, at some point, I'll just turn myself upside down and hang from the top, and that'll be, probably, then I'll be out of the way. So the Wixwell is doing the taunt, he's doing the mischief tank, and he's also doing kind of, and this is what, I've been running all of these on full auto, but for the most part, I've been finding he's good at dealing with torment and mischief and decay. So he's doing the provoke, he's doing the fear counters, and he's doing the mischief tanking. But he's not amazing at any of them. So, there are absolutely times when he just, you know, he's prioritizing his skills and his taunts on an A1, and so he'll have a skill available, he'll use it, and he'll miss the provoke, and then the head of decay gets cleanse off. Totally happens. But he's good because he solves all three of those problems. So actually the rest of this team, you know, if I look at this team, I've got Speed Champ, Block Buffs Champ. Djamarsa is in there for for Crohnam. That's it. In fact, the very first run that I did with this, he was in his regen gear and she was in her just random gear that I'd thrown on her, not even a proper build. I think she had about 200 speed and she was missing a banner. So just to give you an idea. Now, I do have a 5-star soul on her, so I put her in cruelty. We've also got Astrid with cruelty. The first time I ran this, Gerptuk didn't have cruelty, so I think that's the one I've actually got a result for. So this was probably my favourite team. But it uses champs that I'm actually using. The Djamarsa is used in my brutal team, and so is the Mishinaki. So, sorry, not the Djamarsa, the Istrid. So, you know, that was great. So what we did, right, let's just cut over to, I'll just bring in a couple of the screenshots. Maybe we'll just show the run, in terms of showing how his skills work. Let's throw this one in. And this one will be interesting. So what I ended up doing is, you know, I was really impressed with his damage. So then we ended up going okay, so what happens if we do... Oh, and I haven't got the taunt off. This is my problem with Wixwell, is the taunt's on the A1. So actually the very first time you need to target decay, that's it. And then it's full auto. Because otherwise you won't get that first taunt off, and you get the cleanse, and then you get the poison cloud. But you can see here, so sorry, it's running too fast. So let's I'm just gonna manual for a sec just so that we can see. I'll also move myself back over here because it's a bit easier. So every 5 turns he's going to instantly do his A2. So here we're going to do the A2. I don't actually know. So it's, what is it, 1.6? Do the A2. Where did our Mishinaki not do his drop defense? That's annoying. So at first I was impressed with his damage. And so then I put him in a damage build because I'm thinking, do you know what? He gets all those A2s off. Let's put him in Merciless. Because in Merciless, every time that he just did it. He just did it then, and I'm just too busy talking. Put him in Merciless because then when he gets an attack off, then he's got a chance to reset the cooldown of something. So, and then I put Djamarsa into a reflex set to try and get her back around to her A2. It's the only skill that we care about. I mean, if anybody drops, she has got a revive. Great. But otherwise, we care about her A2. I don't know why it's not showing the tooltip now, but that instantly activates, and she tends to prefer putting it on Konum. So now when we put it on Konum, he will instantly do an A2. So 4.5 mil. And we killed a head. And yeah, there you go. It was 1 million, including Mishinaki's counterattack. But then again, as soon as we get 5 active skills used here, he'll do it again. And he just keeps going and going and going and keeps taking turns. Which is why I brought in the Mishinaki, actually, was because I wanted more HP burns. Just to try and keep more HP burns up. I'm just waiting for him. There we go. So there we go. He's done it again, and he's killed a head. And then she can get him to do it again. And then he'll get his turn. I don't think he'll be able to do it again, but no. But he can put the burns back out. And then we can, do the increased speed, the decreased speed. So, we've got between Wixwell bringing the increased defense and Istrid bringing the increased speed, decreased speed, weaken, we're kind of extra covered on decrease attack because Mishinaki's bringing it and Wixwell's bringing it. So yeah, that's the team, and it just keeps going. Whenever I checked on it, it just constantly had heads down. I was really impressed. So let's cut over a second. I'll show some of the teams that we ran. Oh, sorry. There we go. Oh, where's OneNote gone? Hold on. There we go. I just had OneNote minimized. So these are some of the teams. So this is the very first team that I ran, which was, I had Gerptuk still in Brimstone, just from that's how he was built. Djamarsa did have Cruelty. And then this was just Crohnam, was just in his regen set. Obviously, Mishinaki's doing the bulk of the work here. Mishinaki's in a good build, he's in a merciless six-piece merciless, but Wixwell just kind of holds it together. He's not the best in any of those against any of those heads, I would say. He's not the best provoker. He's not the best he's probably a pretty good mischief tank, to be fair. He's not the best torment counter, but he can do all of them quite well, and he's one champ doing 3 things, so that's brilliant. That's what made this team able to just swap out some champs. So what I did next was I switched him into a damage build. I built Djamarsa on a reflex set, and I put Crohnam into a proper damage build with 6-piece merciless to get those refreshes whenever he does an AoE. And you can see his damage jumps from 70 million less than Istrid, up to 185 million, which is brilliant. That's great. But what we then we were talking in my clan, and they said, do you know what you need is you need to sub those champs out for some free champs. They said, well, Mishinaki, you could argue, is a free champ because he was a guaranteed, but I was like, no, that's not, I don't really want to, sorry, there you go, Gerptuk. I didn't really want to do guaranteed champs, so I'll just make myself smaller again just so that it's easier to see. There we go. So I went with, and again, this is still him in his merciless damage build, and we took out the Mishinaki and the Gerptuk, and we replaced them with an Ugo and a Val. So Val is built exactly the same way as Crohnam and Istrid in 6-piece merciless. Now, I've been using Val, and I was going to do a highlight video on Val, because I built him recently, about the same time I built Istrid. He was the, I want better gear on him than on her, so I needed to gear him in Merciless before I could gear her in Merciless. He's not been rocking my world. I've used him on a few different teams, and he's good, but he's not amazing. And I see other people putting out videos saying how amazing he is. So I've never found a spot for him either, which is why it felt like a good fit here. Now, technically, he's not needed here. The things that he brings, the debuff he brings, the weaken and the decrease attack, we're not making use of. But again, for me, anything 400 full auto, 550 full auto, 420 full auto, I only ran these one time, okay? Because they take over an hour. I was running these ones on my phone, and they're an hour and 15, an hour and 30 minutes. When I run them on the PC, they're a lot faster. I did one earlier, and it was 45 minutes, which is way better. So this was again him in speed boots. Now he's bringing a shed load of damage. He's the bulk of the damage here. But him and Val, and again, so all of these except for Ugo are free champs. Crohnam is obviously a grind to get, but you can run multiple accounts on RSL Helper. Go and check out my RSL Helper guide, and I talk about how to run multiple accounts using RSL Helper, and it's not fun, but it's not the end of the world. It only takes a few weeks to just grind it out. Just grind the energy you get and, stockpile it for a while, and then just do a burst of it and just run 3 accounts at once in RSL Helper. So this was him in speed boots, and these were the stats that he was at. Can you guys see that? No, you can't quite. Sorry. Let me just move that over. There we go. So these were the stats he was at. So he was at 6.2k attack, 237 speed, 253 crit dam, and some accuracy. And I've got the 16% ignore defense. And he's in 6-piece merciless, so he's ignoring some defense there. Now, what we then talked about was, all right, what if, because he's going so often, what if you take speed off him? So what we did, and this is the build he's in right now, is we took his speed away and put him into attack percent boots. Do you know what? I can't remember what the stats were, so let's go and have a look. But so what did we go from? We went from 420 million up to 500 million. Just by switching them into attack boots. And you saw it when we were doing the gameplay. Sorry, I need to switch screens for that. And again, I just left this running in the background. He gets turn all the time because every time that a champion uses a skill, he gets another turn, and he gets turn meter from hitting things that have HP burn. In this team, Mishinaki's bringing more HP burn, but you can see he's going pretty often, to the extent that he's getting feared because that buff from Wixwell, I can't remember what it's called, sorry, is dropping off him because it's just too much. But good fun team. So let's just end that. We'll hit end and we can compare Mishinaki and his numbers. Exactly the same. Mishinaki and Crohnam doing the same amount of damage. I would say another good set for him would be, and I would test it, but honestly, I've tested so many different builds on him now. If you can get it, would be Slayer, because he's AoEing all the time. So if you could get him in 9-piece Slayer, that would be amazing. But even 6-piece would be good, because then he would get the turn meter fills on the AoEs as well. But as it is, he's in the Merciless, where he's getting the decreased cooldown, which we want to try and get that A2 back as often as we can. So let's have a look at what his stats are right now. I'll put my Hydra bonuses on. So there you go, 194 speed. So he is not fast. He's about the same on the other stats. So, the crit rate's capped, 152 crit damage. Again, nothing changed on the sort of accuracy and ignore defense. But his attack jumps from 6.2k to 7k. So, that's obviously a decent jump in his attack rate. And, he's just in 6-piece merciless. Gosh, I had a real fear then I was going to open it and he was going to be in like 5-piece. But yeah, I mean, not crazy. 7k is pretty decent. This is like my Tumesia's gear. I just re-geared Tumesia. I'll be honest, he's stolen loads of gear from loads of different champs now, so I've got like a load of half-geared champs, which, because it was free re-gearing. So I was like, okay, look, I should say on the last team that we did, where we brought out these, and we brought in Val, wherever he's gone. Val. And we brought in the Ugo. We lost Hex, which was a bit painful. Did I have one without Hex? Yeah, so that 420 run that we did was without Hex. So we didn't, that was where we had him going faster, and we'd brought in the Val and the Ugo. Here we go. This run, the 420 million, we'd lost Hex out of this team. So what we did in the next run is we put Ugo into a cursed set, and we put Crohnam into the attack percent boots, and then let me just move that back over a little bit so you can actually see him. And then, we end up back at 500 million. So 500 million, not using the Mishnaki. So again, everyone here free or a fusion. So Wixwell and Earstrid fusions, Val, Doom Tower eventually. Djamarsa you're going to pick up when you're picking up Crohnam, and Ugo is the only one that you actually need to pull out of a shard. The last one that we ran just for fun was, again, I've been seeing people, pulling some silly numbers with Ninja recently, so I thought I'll try the same team, and instead of the Val, because we don't actually need his debuffs, I'll bring in the Ninja. And again, he didn't perform, and he's just in my Sand Devil build. If you've got him, he's probably in your Sand Devil team. He's in Affinity Breaker on mine, so yeah, not pulling crazy numbers. That was it. There's loads of different. Let me cut back. Loads of different options that you could do here. So like one of the ones that I thought about that I was going to do was, okay, like take those guys out, leave these guys in. And who was I going to run? I was going to run the Rabbit for the increased speed. And I was going to run Islin for the decreased speed and Mischief Tank. And then I can't remember who else I was going to run here because we got the block buffs. Maybe I left Val in there. I can't remember. The problem that I hit was then I didn't have an increase attack champ. You could use like a Rathalos in here, instead of the bunny. It's just trying to. There's loads of different options. Let's just plug those back in. There we go. Eastrid needs to be a speed up, speed down champ. So you could, if you wanted, use our good old buddy Shamrock. But obviously, the more things that people are bringing, the better. My problem is always decreased speed. You could bring. I did think about bringing a Countess Lix because she brings decreased speed and cooldown reset. Though then we would lose our increased speed, so then we could bring the Rabbit in, but then we've lost some of our debuffs. You get it. So yeah, I thought that this, as a core team, was pretty good. I enjoyed playing around with it. Using the Eastrid, the Wixwell, the Crohnam, the Djamarsa, and then a block buffs champ, and you're gonna need decreased defense and some other debuffs. But yeah, a couple of damage champs. Eastrid's in a damage build as well. Yeah, I thought it was a good showcase of Wixwell and Crohnam and all free champs. They might take you a while to get. You might have to grind a little bit for them, but they are all free. So guys, that's it. It's just hard Hydra. I was just having some fun with the free gear removal, using some champs that I don't use, that I've never used, outside of Earstrid and Mishnaki. I just wanted to see, how Crohnam performed. So guys, I really enjoyed doing this one. I've run way more Hydra runs in the background over the last few days than I care to think about. I now need to go and spend ages putting gear back on the right champs. I'll find Crohnam a build that's a little bit less crazy, and I'll probably run him. I've been... what was my brutal team last week? I can't remember. I've been mixing my teams up, so yeah, this was my best performing brutal team recently, and I think it was about 500 million, I think. Yeah, just again using Rathalos, just using some champs that. Oh, sorry, you guys can't see. I forgot I'd cut over. This one, using Tila. Weirdly, was just performed really well. It just needed the leech, I think, though. I think you could take her out, but when I did take her out, it didn't perform quite as well. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, like and subscribe if you liked it, and I'll catch you all in the next one.